Hey. Welcome to another episode of Echoes Through the Ethers, Beyond the Root to the Seed. My name is Trish. I am your host. Now, usually I am on camera, but today I am not going to be on camera. Okay? Now, I'm going to get right to it. So, I'm just going to be upfront and honest, very transparent with you guys. Today has been a really rough day. Not even just today, this past week has been very eye-opening. And I mean, to say rough would be a disservice. I think I need to use my words to express what it was. To be able to fully identify what it is that I experienced this week. This week I was transparent with some individuals and asking for help with my my businesses I got going on. I have a lot going on business wise, and I need a support team. And I said, you know what? I never really truly I have asked a few people for help, but I was turned down, for that help. And so I'm like, okay, what is this? You know what I'm saying? Like, at first I couldn't ask for help. So then I did the very thing that it was hard for me to do. And now I'm not receiving the help that I asked for. And maybe I'm looking at it wrong, right? Because perspective is everything. And so I'm just like, what is this? So now I'm at this space right now where I'm like, okay, let me go meditate. So a long time ago, when I first even woke up spiritually, I had a vision, dream, whatever you want to call it, travel, where this large blue being who was really, really tall, like at least between 8 to 10 feet tall. And I was my regular size height. I'm 5'3.5". And this being was like with me, and I like laid on its arm or something. And it was like telling me, whenever you find yourself in trouble, get in the water. Get in the water. If you ever find yourself in trouble, get in the water. So ever since then, if I ever find myself... Okay, my bad, y'all. I hope that didn't hurt your ears. If ever I find myself in trouble, whether it's mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically, I run to the water. I get in the bath water and I take a spiritual bath. That's what I've always done. Okay? So I was just getting ready to do that. Long story short, I was just getting ready to do that. I was setting up my bath upstairs, got my pink salt, got my Epsom salt, getting ready to meditate on what oils to put, different things or whatever. And I started to channel. I channeled this word, industry protection. Industry protection. And so this is so off topic from what I was just talking about. But maybe it's not, because I just don't see the connection quite yet. But this is what was coming in my head because my phone is so full of data. I gotta move some stuff around to my SSID card. I haven't had the time yet, but I don't have enough room on my phone to record it. So I'm like, let me just hop on Echoes and record what I'm receiving around this. So, industry protection, Spirit gave me the definition that things that people do to keep their industry alive. So, I want to talk about where this came from because energetically, I feel it. I was watching a video earlier on YouTube, and there's something that happened in my city in Minnesota, and St. Paul specifically, with this individual who hold on, y'all. With this individual where he some one of his neighbors called. I'm sorry, I got distracted. One of his neighbors had called the police, and he was, you know, harming somebody upstairs, and the guy could hear it. And so he called the police. The police came. They kicked in the door. This guy was like repeating words, like before they even came in the door and showed themselves, he was showing real symptoms of like mental instability. Okay, there's key words here. I just really want to highlight certain things here because this is going to drive my point home. Okay. 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 So, mental instability. And so I'm like, interesting. So every little thing that needs to be remembered, right? I'm going to make sure I put it on the screen because I want you guys to flow with me. Follow me, please. What is the because I see this as something being seated. Okay. My bad, y'all, if y'all picking up water in the background. My son is washing dishes. Okay. Um, so we got mental instability. And so for some reason that like really popped out to me. And I'm like, for some reason after I heard industry protection, that situation popped up in my head. And with old boy. And it's a video on YouTube, y'all. I don't know the original video, but this guy is talking about it. And his name is the Matthews Fam. And the video is titled Something Weird is Happening in St. Paul, Minnesota. So I live in Minnesota. I don't live in St. Paul, but yes. So I'm like, let me click on this. And I look to see, and it's this dude, he killed somebody in front of his nephew who's a little kid. And the little kid got blood all over his face and shoes and body. He murdered somebody in cold blood in front of a kid. And I'm over here like, what the fuck? Like, where is this coming from? Now, this goes to show you guys, I'm going to pull up something else because this is definitely, something that is definitely hitting on something for me. Hold on. Image 5. Oh, dang, I deleted it. Shit. Okay. Okay, imagine this. Imagine a circle, right? Imagine a circle, y'all. Imagine one half of the circle. Let's just split the circle down the middle. And so you got one half and you got another half. On one half of that circle, that is everything that we can see with our eyes. And the other half of that circle, that's everything that we don't see with our eyes. Details that we don't know. Shit that went on in the background that you have no idea about, that seeded what we see, and we make judgments or pass judgments on people for being a certain kind of way, that what is this? Oh, that really is a setup to begin with, right? So I'm sorry, y'all. I got so many things going on in my head right now. I'm just trying to gather myself. So, some of the things that I wanted to say in this situation. Okay, yeah, so there's some things that we don't see. And some of the things that we don't see was actually also a part of plans. It was strategic to do those things to create the part that we do see, the circumstances, right? So it's like cause and effect. And we think that, oh, that's what I was trying to do. Okay. We think that, oh, it's just he was a bad apple or she was a bad seed, or, it's just really fucked up because this happened to this person or they did this. They're just bad people. And that's not necessarily the case, honestly. And this is exactly why I say this part, y'all. This is exactly why I don't pass judgment on people. And the reason I don't, I just sit back and I observe shit. I literally just observe things and just pay attention and just observe. Because I know that there is something that we don't know that would give us that, now I see why this happened energy. And until we are able to see everything that went on, we cannot cross judgment on people for the shit that they do. I don't care how horrific or how horrendous it is, whatever they did. I do not care how horrific it is, y'all. I'm trying to tell you right now. And this is why I am the way that I am, because I don't cross judgment unless I have all the details. I don't cross judgment unless I know what goes on or what went on in the dark. And I don't always need somebody to tell me what that is. Majority of the time, I can feel what it is just when you open your mouth. Your spirit will tell me a whole story in my head and give me a whole vision of everything that transpired in the dark and why you're in the position that you in, without the whole time while you talking to me, this is all going on in my head and in my being. It's just showing me what happened. So it goes to show you, like, this is why I started Echoes with the Ethers, because there's a lot of shit that I see and know without, you see what I'm saying? So now, this right here is called intersectionality. Specifically, this right here, y'all. Let me bring it to the front. That's image what? I think this is image. Yeah, let's just do it like that for now. Okay. This right here is intersectionality. This is the different aspects of a person that make up your characteristics, your personality, that make you who you are, excuse me. Got a little ebonics going on right now. That makes you who you are, right? And so all of these pieces fed aspects of who you became. Whether you grew up in a household where your mom and dad was married and together or not, had its effects on you, right? Whether you had a good education, had access to good education, had its effects on you. Whether you are considered black, white, Asian, had its effects on you. Your physical health had its effects on you, right? Like, for example, I can use me on this one because this one was huge for me. When I was growing up, I had severe asthma. So I always wanted to be a gymnast. I wanted to play basketball. I wanted to do track and field. But my grandmother, who raised me, would not allow me because she didn't want me to have an asthma attack and, die. So I was not able or allowed to do that. Even though at like 13, 14, I grew out of that asthma and I was able to do things that I once couldn't do because I was winded. So it goes to show you how your physical health creates a certain path for you too, because that was something that was in me. I wanted to do it so bad I cried. Not because of other people, but because that was something my body severely wanted movement. And today, ain't it funny? I'm 33 years old and I run every day. I'm a runner. I love to run. And I lose myself in the pavement. I run 3 miles a day. And that's just my energy. I use running as a technique to manage my energy, right? So it goes to show you physically I was stopped from doing something like that. But who knows if I would have been allowed to be a young gymnast or track and field, I could have, who knows where I would be today. You see what I'm saying? So that altered or changed my life because I did not have access to it because of my physical or health issues. That's one example. Hobbies, sexual orientation, right? The LGBTQ community. They help each other in ways that other groups don't help each other. They look out for each other. So them just having that sexual orientation can be more beneficial to them in that group than ethnicity can. You see, if somebody is in the quote unquote black community, they won't have certain access to things. But if they are in the LGBTQ community, now their access is now open for them because of the community that they belong to. So it goes to show you political affiliation, your job occupation. You think about people who work in healthcare. They get a lot of things free and or discounted for them because of what they do, right? First responders and things. They don't pay for certain things like coffee. A lot of businesses don't charge them if they have on their badge or their uniform. A lot of places like insurance, they pay half the price or, different things like that. It's just so financially, if they are more supported. You see what I'm saying? Language barriers. We know this. If you are in America and you don't speak English, opportunities for you are very, very limited, right? Ability, mental health, race, gender identity, fertility, age, appearance, gender expression. This is called intersectionality. And what we're saying is these things cross into each other. You see the vesicas right here. They influence each other, right, in our lives. But one of the things is that I'm saying in this situation is, what if the lifestyle that we lived in these different groups or aspects that we all belong to in one way or another was planned to be the way that they were to us? What if it's not by accident but by design that they function the way that they function? That we experience what we experienced. Now, I'm going to pull these down for now. The reason why hold on, you guys. I'm trying to there we go. Okay. Boom. So what I'm saying is there's a flow. And you know how sometimes you can feel something and not have the words to express what it is that you're feeling, but you know that you feel it. And you know when something is off or when something is wrong, right? And so you feel it. You don't necessarily have the words to identify what it is that you're feeling, but you know it's there. This is exactly one of those moments. And so right now what I'm doing is I'm feeling through the dark, y'all. I'm feeling through the dark, and I'm coming on here to figure it out of what I'm feeling, because I feel it and it's connected, but I'm trying to find the words to express what it is that I see in the dark. This is one of those moments for me. And this is usually how I channel too, because I'm feeling. So this is my process and how it is. I apologize if it's a little slow, but I just have to flow with how I flow. If you belong here and you want to hear the breakdown, you belong here. If not, it's okay if you want to leave. So industry protection. So what I'm saying is, what it gave me with the guy that I was talking about, and what I'm going to do, because I want to make sure, no, I don't need to do that. So this guy, let's just name him Person A, right? The guy in St. Paul who cracked up and killed whoever he killed in front of his nephew. What if I'm just trying to see how I can connect this, y'all. Chain of events. Okay, I'm going to use this picture. Okay, I got a picture I can use. Hold on. No, not that one. There we go. Okay. What I'm seeing is a chain of events is what I'm saying. Don't worry about what y'all see here, but I'm just going to use these as an example to show you what I mean. Let's just take him and say that his name is Ray. Because I see it, I can feel it, I can also put my words to explain it. So just bear with me, because I'm trying to put this into words. Oh, shoot. Okay, let me change the color of this. Oh, gosh. There we go. Okay, let's just do black. Let's just Ray. I'm trying to turn Ray black. Color. Why isn't it working? Okay, I'm just gonna remove it because it's being weird. Yep, just delete it. I'll just do another one. Okay. Okay, perfect. Okay, let's just say Ray. This is how I'm seeing this in my head, y'all. So I'm going to take y'all on a walk with me on how I'm seeing this because it makes sense. So let's just say Ray started off, let's just say his day, right? And everything was fine. Ray was fine. Everything was fine. And all of a sudden, something happened in Ray's life. Let's just use this picture too. Yep. Is this? Let's just use this image too. Boom. Okay. Let's just say something happened in Ray's life that was completely out of his control, right? Let's say, I don't know. Bear with me, y'all. Let's just say something happened in his life because of his location. Let's just use some random like location, intersectionality, right? So because Ray live in St. Paul, Ray don't have opportunities or feel as safe. Let's just say something happened where Ray didn't feel safe and he was stressed out. And so Ray said, you know what? I need to calm down. But the only way that I know, only tool, this is where we talk about tools, right? Access. Tools equals access. Turn it down, man. My thing is picking it up. I did the wrong one. Tools equal access, right? It's in my head. I just got to bring it out. It's in my being. I just got to bring it out. All right. My muscles are jumping. Okay. All right. Okay, so let's just talk about how Ray was stressed out because he lived in the inner city. There's things that he don't, it just made it a stressful day because of, based off of where he lived, he don't have access to something, just the randomly something. And what Ray did, Ray said, okay, I'm stressed out about this, I'm overwhelmed with life because of this. And so Ray says, okay, I need to calm down. Only tool that he knows that he has access to, given his location, to calm down in resources is weed, right? So let's just break that. Listen, just roll with me, y'all. Weed, okay? So his tool to help him during a mental health crisis is weed. Okay? Y'all flowing with me. Beautiful. Okay. Let's burn this down. So this is what he used to help himself calm down. Now, we're going to stop talking about Ray for a moment. And we're going to talk about the location over here, up here in the top. Now just roll with me, y'all, because I swear I'm on something right here. Location. I have to show this because it's in my head and I see it. Location. Equal inner city, right? color. Excuse me. Uh-oh. It didn't change colors. Why? I need that to change colors. Okay. Because I'm going to put it on a white surface. So I need for it to... Location. There we go. I did the wrong one. Okay. Background color. Okay. Okay. Boom. Okay. So now we're talking about something that's connected to Ray because that's where he lives, right? Location. This is where he lives, right? But we're not talking about Ray specifically anymore, but we're going to connect what happened to Ray back to Ray because of where he lives in the inner city. So just rock with me, y'all, because I see it and I'm just trying to connect the dots and put it into words because this is a web of bullshit, is what it is. It's a web of bullshit. Just hear me. Okay, so let's say location equal inner city. Let's talk about the police department. Let's talk about the police department. Let's just do that. All right, so let me, police department equal, for right now, I'm just going to say police department. Okay, spirit. What? Bless. You are blessed. All right. Okay. So we got that. We got police department. Now let's talk about police for a moment here, because police department is a system, right? And the people who work within that system have careers and jobs, right? But would they do what they do for free? Probably not, because they have responsibilities like rent, bills, right? And we all do. So let's talk about and put something on another side. We got okay, home, let's just say lifestyle. That's what I call it, lifestyle. And I'm gonna say slash bills. Responsibilities. Responsibilities. Okay, so we got responsibilities. Okay, beautiful. Okay, let's put this over here. So once again, something that Ray is connected to and the people who work for the police department also is connected to, right? We got lifestyle. We all got a lifestyle. And we all got responsibilities, right? Home life, family. We need money to be able to take care of, or provisions to be able to take care of our shit, right? Cool. Now let's talk about this. Police department is a funded job. Let's talk about this. It's a funded job because all of this is connected, and I'm telling you it is. Hold on. Funded jobs. Okay. Bear with me, y'all, because I'm working through the dark. Because Spirit is showing me something. I see it. I'm just trying to put it into words and show what I see, because this is huge. Okay, so the police department is one of those funded jobs. There's a lot of funded jobs, right? So you think, what are all the funded jobs? What are all the funded jobs? We got the police department, we got congressmen, congresswomen, we got government, we got school system, we got healthcare, we got these are some of the main ones that I can think of, right? These are funded jobs, which means they would not get money. They would not be able to open their doors and provide jobs or careers for anybody if they don't get the funding. Okay? So that funding comes from, whether on a state level, federal level, but it comes from taxes. So you think about all that money that we give throughout the year and that they take from our checks, and they take a lot from me. They put this into funding jobs in our communities, the library, all of these things, right? So let me tell you something. Just listen to me. What I am trying to tell you is going on is a lot of these jobs that are funded are running scams. I got to change the color. Okay, running scams. And I'm finna back all of this shit up. I'm finna back it all up. Just watch. Watch how I pull this shit around. Just give me a minute. Let me break it down. Because, man. Okay. A lot of these funded jobs are running scams. And I'm going to tell you how. Now, wait a minute. There's something else I want to do. Let's just name. Okay, so I said schools. Let's just say public schools. Public schools. Right? We got a lot of clinics, a lot of programs that pass themselves off as non-profits, right? Oh, we love a good non-profit. To receive grants and funding and government assistance, right? we love a good nonprofit. Funding gov assistance grants. Okay. So now, um, programs, resources, nonprofits, clinics, government. Um, who else is funded? Um, uh, construction, no, street workers, like street workers, not street workers like prostitutes, y'all. Oh my gosh. The people who like fix the roads. So like road repair, I could say construction. Not all construction is, but construction for city streets and infrastructure. I'm pulling all of this together. Just bear with me, y'all. It's all gonna come together. Okay, clinics, right? State hospitals, state clinics, programs, resources, non for profits like homeless shelters, people who have like mental health programs, shelters. You think about who gets funding from the government or who has a non for profit fund, who has a nonprofit that gets grant funding, right? Because grant funds is when somebody says, I have a lot of money and I don't want to pay my money to taxes. So what they can do with that money that they would have to naturally give to the government and the government use however they want to, since it's your money, you get to choose how you want to spend your money. So instead of paying that money over to the government directly in taxes, people who have a lot of money can give organizations grants that they believe in. So this looks like grants like, say, for example, somebody has started a Boys and Girls Club or like some kind of like a community neighborhood community center. And so, say I make over $10 million a year and I have to pay taxes in the form of 500K. And as a tax write off, what I would do is I would take that 500K and create a program where I give grants to organizations that I believe in. Since I have kids, I grew up in the hood. Okay, now I'm going to give grants for activities for boys and girls so that they can play football and do this and open up parks for this. I can source that type of stuff through giving grant money to certain programs, right? So these programs will have to kind of like in a sense listen to me on how I necessarily want certain things structured if they want my money. So a lot of programs, not-for-profit programs, will do what people say do because they want the money. Because they know that's going to put income in their pocket as well as give them the money to buy better equipment for the kids, better, healthier food for the kids while they're there. So they're willing to do whatever it takes to have access to that money, along with government funding, right? So you have all of these things that are accessible to us as individuals, depending on what we're doing, right? So charter schools, right? So you see public schools, charter schools do this. They get grants for things. They get some government stuff for stuff, but some stuff they don't qualify for because they want to educate the way they want to educate. Okay, this is something I just really wanted to make it make sense because this is huge. I think I got enough. I don't have everything, but I have enough. Uh-oh, crap. Let me see if I can change the color, y'all, because damn it. I'm gonna take that off for now. No. Hold on. Funding. Oh, yeah, that's what it is. Funded jobs. There we go. Okay. Okay, let me try here. Cover. Nope. Okay, let me try a different one to see if I can find, because I don't want to write all of that over again. Hold on. Bear with me, y'all. I'm learning this system. The system learning me. It's a whole damn thing, you hear? Rename. No. Alright. Crap. Properties. There we go. Okay. I found it. See, sometimes you just gotta click the fuck around. Bow. Okay. Let me make this smaller where we can see it, but it's not very huge. Okay. So we talked about these. All right. Beautiful. A lot of these people are running scams. They're getting money from government organizations, from our tax-paying dollars, grants, and other funding, and saying that they're doing things that they're not doing, right? Let's take the library, for example. I mean, the word lie is in the word library. They get tax money. We pay for these institutions to be raised up in our environments. But and they're constantly getting funding for employees, equipment, to get new books, new stuff, so we have access to this in our communities for free, for educational purposes, right? What if they're getting all of this money and they're not necessarily putting it into the equipment, and they're just hiring more people with the money to expand the people that work for them, especially in neighborhoods where you have people who are paying a lot of money? Like Woodbury, Minnesota, for example, would be like people who are middle class but have big homes. Like, they pay a lot in taxes, and their library needs to reflect what they're paying, because these people are getting the funding to do certain things in their community. And if they're not doing that, we have a problem, right? Beautiful. I also just seen something not too long ago, a report that in my city as well, that there's a lot of scamming going on in regards to clinics, saying, and due to Medicaid and public health funding, right? So you talk about us as people go to the doctor and say, I get government insurance, and I go to the doctor and they're putting on my insurance claim that I got services done that I did not get done. And so they're getting all this extra money that they're getting paid for doing something that they did not do. And so now certain organizations that provide these people funding or paying for these things is researching to see, hey, did you have this done, this done, this done, this done? And you like, no, I didn't have that done. So these doctors and organizations are scamming to get money. So you follow me with that. I'm sure you do. Okay. Now let's go back to the police department so we can swing it back to Ray. Okay? What if, because this is something that I picked up on a long time ago in the spiritual world, in the astral realm, y'all. What if crime is actually at an all-time low? But we're being sold via social media, the news, that crime is at an all-time high and at its absolute worst. Why would somebody want to make the world think that crime is worser? let's go back to these police department people. Why would the police department want to make it seem like people like Ray are doing bad things? Because Ray is a black man. Why do they want that? Because if they do not show that crime is getting worse and crime actually gets better or lower, what happens to their jobs? It goes away. It goes away, right? Even CPS, Child Protection Services, they get funding. If they don't have product with your children, they don't get the funding for the year. If they don't get the funding, their jobs go away. Do you understand? So a lot of children are being taken out of their homes where there are not problems. It is being perceived as if it is problems going on that are not going on. Don't get me wrong. Some kids need to be taken away. I get it. But a lot of times, y'all, I know some people who are some damn good moms who have had their kids taken away. I lie to you not. I know some. And it's because if they don't have or show these systems, the government systems, the people who write the grants and the funding and give them the money, that they are needed in the world. If they don't show that they are still needed, what happens to their jobs? Hell, what happens to their lifestyles? How can they take care of the things that they are responsible for if they don't have job security? Literally, what this is, is survival for them. This is survival of the fucking fittest. This is about survival. You want to know why America is not growing and developing like these other countries that we were told who is not better than us? Why is China, Japan, all of these people bypassing us when it comes to education, when it comes to their infrastructure, when it comes to their tech, when it comes to their people, their knowledge, their wisdom, their ability to process? As human beings, they are evolving drastically. I watched a documentary, y'all, and I'm going to pull it up because this is huge. There was a lady, a teacher, in Ireland.
Bottles of dose cost $67.50.
Hold on, y'all. Let me see if I can find it. I hope I can. It's so deep in my history. Ireland. Takes students to Japan. Okay. I'm trying to find a specific video. Okay, so this lady was doing a study. She's from Ireland. And she was studying and connecting with people in Japan and in China, certain parts of China. I'm going to get back to this, y'all, but this is key. She was connecting with people in certain parts of China and Japan, like teachers and superintendents and, people who are over the educational department. And she was talking to them, connecting with them, trying to see if she can understand why their kids are drastically smarter and processing information faster than her kids. Why are their kids in schools able to do math at, I don't know, 14, 15, that people over here can't even do in college? I'm talking about advanced level of math, y'all. Advanced levels of critical thinking, advanced levels of tech, coding, computer creation, AI creation. I'm talking about these people are advanced, bro. Why are they not able to do that? And what is it that the educational system can do in Ireland to be more like the Japanese and Chinese people, to help their kids be smarter? Because the people, the GDP and the city's infrastructure, government systems, and everything depends on the people. So if the people are smart, you're going to see the city improve, the state improve, the country improve, because the people are improving. So you're going to see a major evolutionary process happen to the city as a whole in every way, fashion, form: financial, infrastructure, homes, tech, schooling is just going to get better and better and better because the people are evolving and getting better and better, smarter and smarter. They are getting better. So this lady came up with this idea to take three or four of her students, to go to school in Japan for 3 days. And they were just doing like this social experiment with the kids to see if they could understand the Japanese people's education, vice versa. She was bringing some material from Ireland to give some of the Japanese kids there some test work and try to cross-examine them, versus the Japanese people was cross-examining her kids. Listen, these Japanese kids, she gave them a math test. Do you know these Japanese kids finished that damn test in 10 minutes? It took her kids 40 minutes to finish the damn test. And she asked them if it was easy or hard. They was like, oh, it was easy. We was doing this in 3rd grade. Yo, listen. I was like sitting here, like when I tell y'all, I just be observing stuff. I'm sitting here like, you gotta be kidding me. But also the downside to it is these kids are in school from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. at night. This is what they do. And they have this system organized where you can't get married, you can't go to college. If you don't do this, it's hard to get in school. They even do tutoring after hours. They're always studying, always doing learning. And their whole childhood is dedicated to this. School. The whole childhood. Okay? And I'm over here like, this is wild. At first, I thought it was just outlandish with how the kids was so stressed out and they had so much going on. But then you see the city's infrastructure. You see how advanced these people are. Now, bring it back to America. Let's talk about America. Every time you have somebody who has a genius mindset and they come out with something advanced, whether it's a medical discovery or what's the guy who was just missing? Hold on. His name is Julian. Hold on. What's his name? His last name. Julian. Is it Julian Grant? Hold on. Julian. I think it's Grant. Yep. Okay, I found him.
I know that I'm not going to live long. And that's why I put every day, every hour, every minute into building, into growing. Why am I out here working on this plastic in the fuel reactor I've been working on for 5 years, since I was 17? Why am I out here in 100-degree weather? Why am I out here despite being falsely accused and reported to the EPA and the IRS? Why am I out here despite weird black helicopters that turn off their radar transponder circling me 6 times at night? Why am I out here sleeping in my van, crazy humidity, mosquitoes, gnats flying in, and yet I still do it? Why am I out here despite having to drive 4 hours every time I want to work on this machine? Because when I was doing it in my parents' backyard, I blew myself up and I had to go to the hospital for 2nd-degree burn surgery. I do this because this is my mission that I've assigned myself to. I do this because I do not fear death. I do not fear suffering or uncomfortability. You know what I fear? I fear allowing an idea of something that may not even exist or happen have enough control over your entire life to where you're not even really living your life. That's the only thing I fear. And thus, I am completely set on what I want to do here, and nothing will steer my course but myself. And I am not a quitter. And now that I've set my mind on this, because I wish to liberate humanity, I wish to liberate humanity from this cycle in which we're bound by waste, in this cycle in which we're bound by division, in this cycle in which we're bound by not knowing ourselves. I wish to free us all from all of this. And now that I'm set on that mission, I'm not giving up. And so it will happen, no matter what. Because you know what? To me, when I'm building something, I expect it to be hard. I expect it to be uncomfortable. I expect it to be difficult. You know why? Because that's the whole point. You have to suffer to grow. You have to feel uncomfortable to attribute value to what you do. So you may see this and you see a piece of metal with certain pieces of metal welded onto it, but I see it for what it really is. I see it because when I see this, I can go back in time to not just putting it together, but the motivation as to why I put it together, the hope, the purpose, the passion, all right here embodied. My soul is within this, just as yours is within anything you do and put your mind to as well. So if you wonder why I'm out here and why I'm not going to do anything else but continue to stay on this mission until I see it through, until I say it's complete, that is why. Because it doesn't matter what anything externally is. There is no threat. There is no uncomfortability. There is no amount of suffering that will steer me from what I wish to do, because that is the life I wish to live. It's inevitable. I know.
Okay. His name is Julian Brown. He is an inventor. Okay. And he has created this thing called plastidine, which is way cleaner for the earth other than gasoline. He's an inventor. He invented it. And on top of that, he has shown and put it into cars and made a car actually turn on from it. People stand behind him. He's an inventor. Why is his life being threatened? Why is his fucking life being threatened? Why is it that it was just a couple weeks ago that they were saying that this man was missing and they didn't know where he was because he stopped posting? Dr. Sebi, they threatened and killed that man. You think about another person, Yaki Awakening. He even talks about health and how to change and what to do and how to use herbs and all of these different things on how to heal ourselves, trying to advance us. You have God's people right in front of you, the chosen people. They come here, they bring messages, they show us solutions that's outside of the norm. They try to move us as a people into something more advanced. But it's like the moment that they come out and they get enough traction, what happens? What happens? Hold on, y'all. Y'all know I'm putting the words up. I got to put the words up because we got to keep track of everything. Because I'm all over the place. That's what it seemed like. But just wait, because I'm going to, I'm telling you, I'm connecting dots and I'm going to bring everything together. I promise you. So people who are, now let me just make sure I do this too, because this is huge. Hold on. This is how I channel, y'all. So I could have did better on the color on this one. Let me, yeah, because that color is too much like white. There we go. Okay. So one more. Okay. So what this is, you guys, now I just talked about this, right? I talked about, it's a few things. I just want to make sure that I keep track of everything because this is going to drive my point home. Okay. Okay. Couple more. This is going to definitely show you guys the trickle down effect. This is exactly what it's about. Okay. Okay. So let's talk about, let's just put it on. This side is like the old systems. This side is like right here, the new systems, right? And what it is like the old systems versus the new systems. Because these people out of survival mode are literally taking out these people so that they can't advance us as a society. We are not evolving. We are not moving up as a society. They're constantly keeping us stuck, stagnant, in the same. Regressive even sometimes. Moving us backwards, right? And running scams for their jobs to constantly be funded because this is about survival of the fittest for them, for their lifestyle and their responsibilities. And they're willing to do whatever it takes to do that, to survive. Do you understand? So it's old systems versus new system. And these old motherfuckers, they got old money. They got resources. They got connections. They help each other out. So here you go. You got little old Julian Brown. You got little old Dr. Sebi. Just one person. You know, they're separated. They're not with each other. They're not innovating. They are God's chosen people because they came here. Think about it. Now, this is something, okay. Yes, I'm finna take it there. Okay. I wasn't gonna take it there because I have a point to prove here. Hold on. I want to. Interesting. They switched this up a little bit. But it's okay. It still is gonna drive my point home. Let me screenshot it so I can show y'all. Okay, boom. Perfect. Okay, so I got those really quick. I'm just gonna pull these up on the screen just to make another point really quick, y'all. So I got image here. One more. Boom. Okay, beautiful. Okay, now just the reason why I say innovators, inventors, and pioneers are God's people. These are the chosen people. Okay? And I'm finna prove my point. on why and how I know this. Hold on. Okay. Inventors, innovators, pioneers equals God's chosen people. And I'm going to tell you why. Let's just look at what God is, right? And what he did. So I asked myself, first of all, what is God? God is a supreme being, a deity, right? That which is invoked. Hear me. It's a supreme deity that is invoked. Hear me now. Hear me now. To invoke means to call, invoked, right? To call, to be invoked. The notion, divine entities summoned to a sacrifice. Listen, it's telling you what God is. The notion could be divine entity summoned to a sacrifice. Wait a minute. Invoke, implore. Call upon, to implore upon. To call upon, using your voice to speak. Okay. I'm going to take this a couple different ways. Because that just took me away from my original point that I wanted to make, that I still am going to make. And it revealed something else to me as well. That I was just talking to my grandma about. Okay, so this is what that just revealed to me, all of this. And then I want to, hold on. Okay, beautiful. This was my original point. Okay, let's just talk about my original point really quick that I wanted to make. And then we can go to what they just revealed to me in this. Okay, my original point on why these people, innovators, inventors, pioneers, are God's chosen people. Because God in itself was creation and also the maker of creation's existence, right? So God said, let there be light. God said, let there be this, and it was, right? So God used its words to create and bring things into existence. Yes? What in the fuck do inventors, innovators, and pioneers do? They are creators. They bring solutions. They bring newness. They bring new worlds into being. They are the very expressions, the outward expressions of God itself. If you looked at God as being one God, or if you looked at God as being many gods with an S, because the original word said there were gods with an S. This more recent monotheistic one God is not the original God, because he is a jealous God. That's what it states in the book. Why would anything that would be a supreme power be jealous of any other being? That means you're not the best. Think about us as human beings. Think about us as human beings. Say, for example, you got two cousins. One got an old car and the other one got a new car. And the one who got an old car looked at the one who got a new car and said, I can't stand that bitch. She got a new car and I don't. I got this old ass car that ain't working, that ain't doing what I want it to do, and her car look better than mine. Fuck that hoe. I don't fuck with her. I don't like her. Really what she just said is, I'm jealous of her, but I love what she doing. But I don't have the ability to create what she just created. So I'm mad now. It's really love. Hate is really love, right? Because it's like, damn, I admire the fuck out of her. She did that shit. That bitch cold. That car is the truth. And she did that. But I'm mad because I can't do it. I'm mad because I don't know how to create it. I'm mad because I don't know how to make something like that exist in my world for me. So now I'm mad. Now I want to destroy her. Or now I don't fuck with her. Now she's a problem to me because now she make me look bad. Right? That's exactly how the God in the Bible that they talk about as a jealous God look. When we look at that cousin, we like, that bitch is crazy. She jealous, that ain't quite right. Because why would you be jealous of somebody if you had the ability to do the very thing that they did? If she could say,
You happened.
Kaka?
I didn't know. It's all daily. I didn't touch it.
Okay.
I literally didn't touch it.
The TV was off. Who turned it on? You walked away.
Yeah.
Weird. Okay, give me the remote.
Yeah.
Interesting. The TV just randomly popped on. Okay. Okay. Why would you be upset if you had the very ability to do, not even just do it, but damn, anything you can do, I can do better. Anything you can do better. Anything I can do, you can do better. Right? Whatever happened to that? Because Christ, Jesus in the Bible, who's said to be this jealous being's son, is said to say, ye too are gods. And anything I did, you can do it better. He was not jealous. He was the very thing that was not jealous. So what if we're sold this thing through the process of imagery to make it seem like this entity of this higher stance is something that it's not, but the real God in the situation are those that are Christ-like. Christos, right? These people who find themselves, who reach a state of Gnosticism, those who really come into the self, understanding the self, the authentic version of the self, those who are tired of wearing the masks. Right here. Those who are tired of wearing the masks. They're ready to focus on their authenticity because the mask is a representation of that which is jealous. The mask is a representation of that which is fake. The mask is a representation of this shit right here, survival mode. That's what it is. Stagnant, stuck energy. That's what this is representation of. Mental health instabilities. That's what this right here. These masks right here protects the fucking very industry that needs to be burned down. They won't let these people be great. They won't let these people do what the fuck they came here to do. They are God's people and they are trying to advance us as a people. But these people right here keep stopping them, killing them, taking them out. Let's talk about why these people appear, though, real quick, because that's what this just told me. On the other end, how gods with an S are created, they are invoked, they are called upon. I just had a conversation with my grandma the other day, and I would call her, but it is 12:23 a.m. and she is 84 years old, so she is sleeping right now. But I'm going to tell you right now, you just got to take my word for it. Feel me for the truth. I had a conversation with my grandma the other day, and I was like, you know how I've spent my whole life focusing, like ever since 2016 when I had my awakening. I'm not interested in the things that people, my peers, are interested in. Those who wear masks, because that's all I've ever known, right? Being around those sorts of people. I've never been interested in the clubbing, in the. Every now and then I get my hair done and stuff. Don't get me wrong, but I've never been interested in the play-by-play that is shown to you as what's called a good time. The drugs, the weed smoking, the drinking. I've done it. Don't get me wrong. Not drugs, but I've smoked the weed a couple of times before. But I've never been into it. And any time that I ever stepped off the porch and did it, it was me wearing a mask, trying to fit in, trying to connect, because I was lonely at the time. Trying to fit in, trying to be like everybody else, because being by myself, I just didn't feel right. So then, fast forward 2016, I had my spiritual awakening. Once I understood, myself start revealing themselves to me. I started seeing how I was fragmented and how it was split, and how all of these aspects of me was scattered about. And I started to gather myself. I started to see myself. I started to feel my truth. I started to stop doing the dance that everybody else do, so that they can be what I call, and let me pull it up. This is due to tokenism, being someone's token individual. This is the practice of doing something only as a symbolic effort, especially pertaining to a minority group. Actions that are the result of pretending to give advantage to those groups in society who are often treated unfairly in order to give the appearance of fairness. That's tokenism. So ism, but to be a token person, they practice this. They start showing us this in school, y'all, when we're young, when they create the sticker thing. Oh, if you're good, then we're going to give you a sticker. Oh, if you're good, we're going to give you a green light. Like, they come up with different systems, teachers do. Like, on the board, they have all the kids' name. At the end of the day, you as a child would get a green drawing, a red drawing, or a yellow drawing, meaning that you had a bad day, a good day, or a okay day. And you want to shoot for at least majority of good days. And if you stay in the green for 10 days, you get a token or something like that, or a sticker, or you get a prize out of the prize cabinet, and they keep track of all the days you be good, right? But most kids are learning how to be, they're learning tokenism. They're learning how to wear masks to get something that they want. Oh, if I want a gift out the gift cabinet, I have to have 10 good green days, Mom. And they teach you that. And in school, they teach you that early on. Oh, you got to be a good kid. You got to be a good person. You got to be this. You got to be upstanding. You got to be right. You got to be in society. Oh, we want you to get this jab. Be a good person. Care about your neighbors. Care about the elderly lady next door. More than you care about yourself. It doesn't matter that you think that it's going to harm you or your DNA. You don't matter. She matters. She's 64 years old. If you stand next to her, she's going to get this disease. And it's your fault. You got to take care of each other, So it's teaching you to care less about you. You don't matter. Your emotions don't matter. Your feelings don't matter. What you need don't matter. It is to do what the society wants you to do and to be validated by them. You want to be seen as this token person. You want to be seen as this most beautiful person, so you put the wig on. You want to be seen as this, so you do the dance. You wear the mask. Because you want to be that token girl, that token boy. And this is exactly what's going on. They teach you that young. They program that at us at a very fucking young age. Tokenism. So that we abide by their systems. The moment we take the mask off and say, bitch, fuck that. I don't care how ugly I am underneath. This is who the fuck I am. And this is what it is. You become a threat instantaneously. And that's the moment that you step into being an inventor, an innovator, a pioneer. You step into your authenticity, your truth, and you create things that we never seen before on this planet. Because somebody called on you. And the conversation that I had with my grandma is this. I tell her this all the time. I say, given who and how I know me to be, there is no fucking way that I chose to come here by myself. There's no fucking way. Somebody ancestrally prayed me into existence. They prayed me here because they were prey to something and they asked for a solution. What is the purpose of prayer? To ask for a solution, to ask God or gods to come in and create something that is going to help you out of whatever it is that you're dealing with, of wherever it is that you are. You need help, you need support, you need access, you need systems, you need protocols, procedures, you need something. You need provisions. You need a person to come do the very thing that doesn't even exist for what you need it to be. Prayer, calling on God, is to create gods. Gods are created. This guy, Julian Brown, y'all just heard this man talking. He was called. People are tired of gas prices. We are tired of the pollution. The air is bad. We are sick and tired of it. And then now we look at the electric cars. Half of them bitches is blowing up. So we think about, okay, we need options, right? We need to have options, resources for multiple things that we can do. So this man came out with his own gasoline called plastidine, made from plastic bottles. Do you know how much plastic it is in the ocean? Do you know how much plastic each country produces? The plastic problem is global. Do you know how this man and his invention could set the entire globe? It would clean the oceans. The animals in the oceans would be happier. Because we could take that plastic and turn it into gasoline for our cars. Think about the people that would be recycling plastic everything. Think about the industry that could create. Now, I have a garbage bin, and I also have a plastic bin. Think about how we could sell our plastics that we consume, water bottles, whatever, and we can sell it versus paying for the recycling people to come pick that. They actually pay us for our plastics. It's an income to recycle. What about that? What if that was a thing? Or further, instead of them coming to pick it up, what if this guy Julian created a device that we can have in each home, where we could take our own plastics and make our own gasoline for our vehicles? What if that was the case? There's so many ways you can take this. This man is trying to innovate and pioneer us into the future so we can evolve ourselves as a people. And these people is threatening his very existence, his survival. They're trying to take him out. And it's not even him that they're trying to take out. It's the new systems that they're trying to stop from coming into existence, because then the problems and things that they get funded for to keep their jobs goes away. What if, let's go back to Ray. What if Ray used those tools that he had to help him deal with overwhelming stress? And though weed was laced with something, additional chemicals that necessarily can't be traced, that who puts the drugs in the communities? I don't see none of the YNs with planes and connects with places who grow cacao, or what is it? The girl child, look, the coke plant, okay? I don't see us with connections or with planes or with the fucking clearance to pull a plane in this bitch anytime to do something like that. They put this fake ass story about Frank Lucas out a long time ago, the American gangster. Bull fucking shit. They tried to act like, oh no, it's not us doing it, it's the black man doing it. It's not us. See, it was Frank Lucas. We caught him. He was doing it. It was him. It wasn't us. We didn't do it. Bullshit. They sold us a whack ass story. You know, listen, when I was younger, I used to get in trouble if I used to say, you lying. My grandma used to say, girl, you better shut your mouth. It popped in my mouth. You better say they telling stories. As a young kid, I was these motherfuckers is telling stories, and we believe in them because they got the money and to make these stories look fancy, but they ain't got no fucking proof. All skin folk ain't kinfolk, y'all. We already know this, though. They probably paid this dude to hold his persona like he did something, and he get known as being a GOAT for something that he didn't even fucking do or wasn't even as big as what they made it seem like. And he just making up stories, and they pay him off, and he like, all right, cool, I done sold these motherfucking people a story and got some money. Making us believe that black men in back in the day had the fucking audacity or even belief that they could do something like that. I'm not buying it. I don't give a fuck. Just thinking about motherfuckers' mindsets back then. Nah. They're lying. And if at any point he did, I guarantee you it was the police department that was funding it for him to do it. That is what I'm saying. Why and how does the crack epidemic help them? Because it provides more funding to fight crime. Was it Reagan? What they say, crime on drugs, the videos and commercials they used to have, crime on drugs. This is your brain on drugs, frying an egg in the fucking skillet and shit. This is your brain on drugs, creating actual issues in our neighborhoods and environments, y'all. Crack epidemics. They did that to protect their own asses. It was our demise. It was a strategic plan. It was a fucking tactic. It was a fucking tactic. And because we were so stressed out anyway, motherfuckers fell for it. My mama was a victim of it. So you look at something that my mom did. My mom left all of her kids. And I'm going to be real with you, y'all. My mom left me in an abandoned building for 3 days by myself when I was 3 weeks old. And I survived it. Does that make my mama a bad person? Most people would say yes. Because, like I said in the beginning of this shit, what did I say? What did I say, y'all? You got a circle. And on one side of the circle, you draw a line down the circle. And on one half of the circle is everything you see. And on the other circle, side of the circle, half of the circle, is everything that you don't see. When you look at my mama on the surface, you say that bitch is shitty as fuck. What the fuck? How could she do that to a baby? That is wild. How dare she? But when you look at the shit that went on in the dark, right here, is when you reveal the truth of what happened. These people were protecting their own ass, their lifestyles, their families, their responsibilities. They were put into these positions to protect themselves, to get funding. They did things to people that caused their demise on a mental, emotional, spiritual, physical level and more. There's ways that we can't even detect how people have been affected by the shit that they caused. My mom was a product of that. She was a victim of that. It's not my mom's fault. It's them. This is where I come up with beyond the root to the seed. Because these people are just the root. But what is the seed that even constructed and ordered them to do the things that they did in the first place? Because we're dealing with something that is levels to this shit. It is levels to this. And I am here to reveal it so that you can unstick yourself. I know there's so many people out here like Ray. Ray probably smoked the weed and the weed was laced with something, and now he committing all kinds of crimes. It's not Ray's fault. He's stressed out because of intersectionality. This is what I'm trying to show y'all. And I'm about to land my plane on this. Where is it at? Where it go? Location. It's not Ray's fault that he was born in St. Paul, in the inner city. It's not Ray's fault that he is where he is from. He didn't ask to be there. Location, inner city. And all the challenges that people deal with the inner city being over policed, and how the police continue to create crime that isn't necessarily there through lacing things and post-operative like tactics in the background that we don't see, by putting laced drugs intentionally that they know is going to have war-like side effects and consequences on our mind. Neurologically, they have and connect with scientists, chemists, all kinds of things. You could probably not even have any idea. There's so many things we don't detect and don't know. These people work with chemists to create drugs that they know that on the surface it look like it's safe, but in the inside of the structure of whatever that weed is, all of this new weed they made weed legal now. You don't know what is in what you smoking. It's not pure anymore. It's not raw anymore. I got a cousin who was smoking some shit from California, what did he call it? Monkey banana or some shit. And it smelled like bananas. And he's smoking weed and it got some little yellow shit on it. He called it monkey banana. Like, what? Some other dude I know was smoking some stuff called Blue Ape. Blue Ape? What? And you putting it in your body. You don't know what you putting in your body and what the consequences or effects on your mind it's going to have. But when we talk about tools and access and the knowledge that the people have on what they have to use when their mental health is not okay, when they are having a sacred crash out, when they are going through hell and they just need something to help them calm down so they can think clearly, they resort to what they know. You think these people know about spiritual baths? No. Half the time they are told in churches, oh, you don't mess with that. You don't fool with that. That is the very thing that will save their fucking life, getting in some water with some pink salt, Epsom salt, and some herbs and some essential oils. And these motherfuckers won't even do it. Because it's not Jesus. Religion teaches them against it. Hold on, y'all.
I'm gonna go to bed.
Huh?
I'm gonna go to bed.
Okay. You tired? Okay, give me a kiss and a hug. I'm not on camera. Love you, baby.
Me too.
All right, get you some rest. So, we think about all of these things, y'all, like something ain't quite right here. And they have all of these tactics that we see and don't see. You think about the food. You think about the water. You think about all of these things to make you think you losing your shit. Right? Oh, I'm losing my mind. I'm crashing out. This is happening. They spraying stuff in the air. They spraying stuff in the pesticide that they put in the grass when they treat the fucking ground. You don't know how that shit is taking an effect on you and your mental health, your emotional stability, but they do. They do. And it's also you don't step into being an innovator, inventor, pioneer, and step into knowing yourself as God's chosen people, and that you came here to create and move the collective forward. Because forward motion is not what they want. They want us to stay right where we at so that they can have security for their lifestyle, their responsibilities, their home, their family, their businesses, their jobs. It just feel like I just lifted a rock up off of me. It took me an hour, almost damn near 2 hours to break this down, but I literally was feeling through the dark, y'all. To be able to bring this to the surface, I was feeling through the dark. And if you made it to this point, I want you to put in the comments, feeling through the dark, below. Tell me your story. Tell me how these things affected you and your family. Let's talk about solutions. Let's talk about how we can protect each other as innovators, inventors, pioneers, God's chosen people. If you came here with a mission, and you know you came here with a mission, and you know you came here with something that you were supposed to do here, and you know it's meant to advance, bring in new systems, new protocols, new structures. I know I'm meant to build a new school. I know the way that I do education ain't no fucking way. It's fire. And I homeschool my own son. So I've been my own experiment. I know that I'm in here. I'm meant to create some solutions for people psychologically to help them free themselves. I know what I'm meant to do, right? And so I'm ready to build. But it's things like this, seeing people, lives be taken away from them, missions being taken away from them having to start all over from scratch because these entities that are here. So first, solutions first. I want you to repeat after me. If you are tired, we just heard words, invoke, call, right? We know what it is to be a God. Prayer, calling on God. But right now, we finna make a statement, because that's not the only way you can call. Using your words out loud enough is to call. So as I sit here on this microphone, I have identified and connected dots and analyzed a lot of the things that we're dealing with in the background that we didn't even know we were dealing with, because it's something that's been happening in the dark. It's something that we haven't been able to see with the naked eyes. But my eyes that are on the other side seen it. I felt it in my gut. I just didn't know how to express it. And in this video, I walked through and expressed it, got it out, connected it, seen it. So I call cosmic justice. And I'm going to put an image on the screen. If you feel called, I ask you to do the same. Hold on. To say these words or come up with your own, because that's going to be even more powerful. All right, I found it. I'm gonna pull it up on the screen, y'all. Give me a second. There we go. All right. Now I can start. Okay, there I am. I turned off the wrong thing. Let me begin to close some of this stuff out, y'all. Do, 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 do. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, yeah, let's. All right, there we go. I accidentally turned my microphone off. All right, and then let's take this one and turn it off. There we go. Boom. All right, let me bring one more image up. That's the only image that I'm gonna place on the screen. The reason why I chose this image, this is a very ancient image. Very ancient. It comes from Hindu. It comes from ancient Hinduism. Okay? It comes from ancient Hinduism, and it's actually a symbol that sits up in the sky. It's cosmic, okay? It's cosmic. When you look up in the sky, you see this, and you see it in the form of being connected to the star systems. I'm going to pull that one up too. Here we go. I got it. Okay. Oh, here we go. Let's just use this one. Here we go. Boom. Damn, it's small. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna use that. Okay, I'm gonna bring one more up, y'all, so we can cross-reference. There we go. Okay. Boom. See? It sits up in the sky. It's the North Star is the middle of it, right? Spring, winter, fall, summer. And it's the Big Dipper, and it flows like this around the North Star. And it makes the shape of what we were told is the swastika. And then it has these dots in them to show the flow. Now this also sits like this, but you can also flip it. I'm gonna show y'all. Because it, hold on. Let me see if I can. Here we go. Oh, not that one. I meant to do this one. Transition, transform. right there. Boom, boom. So it can be this way or it can be the other way. Both symbols have flip. There we go. Okay. Both sides have power. You understand? And so when you show this is called cosmic order. Okay? I know some things that we were told. Once again, they're stories, you guys. We were told a bunch of stories with no proof. And the proof that they had, still they altered and changed things. These symbols are very powerful symbols. And they are to our power and benefit if we use them. And if we use them correctly. So, you can repeat after me if you feel called. Or you don't have to. But I, Patricia, call down cosmic justice to be served on this planet. I call down a great reckoning on the people, those who have planted the seeds that birthed the roots that we see and have identified here through filling through the darkness. Being able to put words to what I felt without even understanding what it was. So I call anybody who watched this video to do the same. To call down cosmic justice, to call down resources and provisions for God's chosen people to do what they need to do to advance and evolve the collective on a worldwide basis. To move the people out the way, the roots, the systems out the way that try to stop us. No matter how big they try to come, no matter how hard they try to force us, every time they fail and fall. I am always moved out of the way. I am never touched, always safe, whether it is detected, undetected, known or unknown, seen or unseen, heard or unheard, smelled or unsmelled, tasted or untasted, felt or unfelt. They can never touch me in any way, shape, or form that they may take. They cannot see me. I am a black dot. I am darkness. They cannot see my light. They cannot understand my light. They cannot know my light. May cosmic justice be served. I have identified, and in the court of law, I have passed judgment on them because I see the wholeness of who they are. I see them in the light of day as well as I see them in the darkest of the nights. I have revealed, I have seen, I have called and identified the crimes that they have committed. I see them, the tactics and techniques and strategies and infrastructure and plans and systems and protocols and everything that they put forth out of survival. But how many they have hurt, killed, altered their life. They messed with their lives, their beings, their minds, their emotions, their energy, their spirits. They have messed up so much, and their time is up now. As a divine guardian of cosmic order, I stand and I take my rightful place And I am ready to build and do what I came here to do. Do what I came here that I was called here to do. I am ready to stand up, and I call and wake up every guardian, every steward that exists inside of time and outside of time to rise up at this time, no matter where you are. If you are in the season of summer, spring, winter, fall, if you are on the West Coast, North Coast, South Coast, East Coast, East North, West South, East South, I don't care where you are, up, down, left, right, at the top or at the fucking bottom, I call you to rise the fuck up. It is time for us as God's chosen people to take our rightful place back. Half the things that happen to us, majority of the things that happen to us is not our fault. It can't be. It can't be. But if you stay stuck in that victim mentality, you'll never see your way through. So I stand up here. I am not a victim. I am a victor. I pull all the fragments of myself that fed their systems containers back to me now. I call my power back to me now. It is mine. I do not agree. I do not participate. I do not see them in the light that I used to see them in. They are not more powerful than me. I am all powerful. I am self-empowered and I am sovereign. I will not participate with their shenanigans. And their shenanigans are done on this planet, in this universe, in this multiverse, from the roots to the fucking seeds, from the source to the shit that it created. You are done here. That is the word. That is the spoken word. That is God's power to speak truth into existence. Truth is truth. And it is done. It has been sown in the very fabric of their false ass illusionary time and space. It is sown and it cannot be removed. It cannot be undone by any way, shape, or form. So mote it be. And I'm done here. Over and out.